William, thank you so much for taking this time to chat with me about your film, TheyDream.
Of
I'm
course.
excited to talk about it. It's such an interesting and unique kind of documentary in a style that only you can do. So, I want to start with talking about your Sundance experience. How did that go for your third time?
Yes, third time's the charm. I was in Sundance in 2017 with the short film called Victor Nisolina, which featured 3D printed miniatures of my grandparents. And then in 2022, I was there, well, virtually because it was canceled in person with Chili and Millie, another short film about my parents. And now I just returned from being at Sundance with Daydream, my first feature film to screen at Sundance. And it was an amazing whirlwind of just self-actualization and realization of and a culmination of years and years of me pursuing projects about my centered around my family in many different unique styles. So yeah, it was really it was amazing.
hmm Um, yeah, I got the chance to screen it virtually after I had left Park City, but it was I mean the vibe in Park City was unique. I mean, this was the final Sundance in Park City, and what was the conversation like around the fact that you got to screen a film at the final Sundance in Park City?
I mean, again, I just feel so incredibly lucky that everything happened when it happened for me to have this moment. And as you said, such a momentous year, like a year that was like the closing of one chapter and beginning of another. And I just feel honored, so honored that I had such a great creative team that helped me create this, my funders, many different nonprofit organizations, as well as public media came in when they came in, and that, the programmers liked the film, and that, hey, the jurors liked it enough to award it a special jury award. So, again, I can't really complain. I think this is gonna definitely goes down. I was joking that this goes down. This will go down as being when I won the award, the happiest day of my life, surpassing the day I got married, mainly because I'm divorced. So.
Well, here's two more incredible achievements for you going forward.
Yes.
Um, well, let's talk a little bit about Daydream. And I actually want to start with your style of documentary storytelling. It's so vibrant. And of course, you have your little figures that you use as well. What was the origin of starting storytelling in this way?
Yeah, so I tell people that I work in miniature for many different reasons. I like to tell big stories using small figures. And also I feel that it allows me to get back in contact with play, something that, children used to play all the time. But for me, if I can make my artistic practice feel like play and get lost in the wow factor and this idea of like, crafting something out of nothing in a tangible way, because I'm both well versed in, miniature creations and also digital. I think after a while, I just never wanted to be in front of the computer, 100% of my creative time, and so it gives me a nice break from that. And also when I went to college, I went to Pratt Institute for my undergrad and then NYU for grad school, both in the mid 2000s. I don't know, yeah, mid 2000s, not yeah, between 2003 to like 2008. Because I think when you say mid 2000s, it sounds like 2050, which hasn't happened yet. Um, so like I realized that editing programs as well as camera gear were becoming a lot cheaper, meaning that there was going to be a lot more people able to tell their stories, which is a great thing. Like the cost of entry was dropping so drastically, but I also realized like, hey, that's going to be an oversaturation of stories. What can I do to keep mine from getting lost? And it took me a while, really when 3D printing became a thing, then I realized that like that was one way of standing above the crowd because yeah, like I just imagined myself being the viewer and seeing all of these um uh like scrolling through, let's say, Netflix or YouTube, and like you had to stand out, you had to have a powerful thumbnail. And so really it was this idea of miniature and then combining that with my love for storytelling and documentary, and then also highlighting underrepresented voices and what bigger voices are underrepresented than those, not just in my family, but people who look like those in my family with similar backgrounds. So I just found the perfect harmony of all three.
Hmm. Well, let's talk about you and filmmaking because you are the director, screenwriter, animator, producer of this short. You wear so many hats, and it's funny because I'm at a time where I'm trying to figure out how to delegate, and then I find you doing everything. And so I want to get a little bit more of your perspective on taking on so many roles in this, and maybe what you might advise to people who look at you and aspire to like be able to do this many things. What's your perspective on that?
Yeah. Like I have like one hair. I'm gonna switch wearing hats. I'm gonna wear this hat for this rest of this interview.
There you go.
Um,
That's appropriate.
so I Yeah, like and I mean to add on to that already quite extensive list, I also storyboarded this project. I created miniatures from this project. One of the songs that's used towards the end of the project, I recorded many years ago that features me on the violin because I used to write a lot of music back then. So yeah, for me, I think I received the special jury award for creative expression because I think my life is full of creative expression. Like I can't live. I tell people like I have addiction to creativity. I cannot be happy without having one project to pursue, one that really like keeps me up at night in a good way, one that I have to birth through my own creative initiative. And so I just fell in love with many different creative techniques, and was able to go to art school, which helped me, try many different things. And yeah, and then I also realized like I can't tell a story that's so personal about who I am unless I really get my hands dirty. Like I can't just be sitting to the sidelines and having you edit and you animate and you do this and I'm just like watching and not like doing anything. Like I needed to get in there in order to make the story as like authentic as honest as possible. So yeah, I think it was also just like a love. I really felt a lot of love for everything, even the monotonous things, because I knew it was going to add to this like really deep sort of tapestry of a film. So, and I wanted to be challenged throughout. So I think the advice I have for for young people is to really you know make a checklist of things that needs to get done, and then know that the biggest thing you need is patience, because Lord knows every week I had a new checklist. I was always checking off more and more and more, and the things I wasn't that great in, I was able to hire other people, but I had to learn how to do a lot of uncomfortable things, especially when I was younger, like writing budgets and doing spreadsheets, and now I could do those super easily. So to create, it's a lot of the initial hype of getting the vision in the beginning, and then knowing that like the rest is just execution, and the more you could do on your own, the easier the flow will be, even though there will be frustrating moments. I think that's just something we have to deal with.
Mhm. Well, another role, just to continue adding to this list, that you take on with this project is editor. And as I understand it, you used Adobe Premiere Pro to cut this film. Talk about how Adobe helped helped make the editing job easier as you juggle all of these different components of the film.
Sure. So I'm fortunate to have really like have a lot of my digital like formative years be centered around Adobe. So I remember when I was at Pratt Institute, I learned how to use After Effects. That was a little bit over 20 years ago, and it was really me just playing with After Effects, and that really showed me like, wow, I could do things that are like different than conventional filmmaking. And I was telling a friend, I'm like, you know what? I don't know. Like, a part of me really wants to make a conventional film, but I don't think I have it in me. I think whatever I do is always going to be a bit out there and a bit different. And I think that goes well with who I am as a person, as a Puerto Rican American who sometimes feels more American than Puerto Rican, sometimes more Puerto Rican than American, and as a bisexual man, it's like I always will like I never really fit in, so let me use that to my advantage. So After Effects allows me to make the work more quirky and a bit more just imaginative. And then Premiere is where I take a lot of those scenes, which are composited and built in After Effects, and I'm able to put them here to tell the actual story. And then before that, Photoshop is used to help me maybe enhance those layers that I play with. So it's really those three programs: Photoshop in a minor way, After Effects in a major way, and then Premiere also in a major way. That really is the pipeline that I use. Though there were other programs that I used and that my creative team used as well to cook everything. But in the end, Premiere was like the final nesting place of it. And yeah, I know how to use it very well just from creating projects in the past for clients and then just, for myself as well.
Hmm. Yeah, Premiere is my go-to for editing as well, and so
Yeah.
it's always fun to talk with others who take advantage of the benefits, especially with the Creative Cloud. I love the connectivity of the Creative Cloud. It is just lovely. It makes my life so much easier.
Yeah.
Um, I kind of want to transition into um, film's impact on the world. I don't mean to get it too deep, but we're in a very tumultuous time in this country. And I think that there's a lot of emphasis and value being put on minority stories and really speaking your truth and talking about your history. And so I guess with all of that in mind, what kind of impact do you hope that this film about your heritage has as it goes out into the world?
Sure. So I grew up in a trailer in my grandmother's backyard. My there wasn't much money that would come in when I was younger. My parents are both disabled, but whenever I turned on TV, whenever I saw Latino men, they were always they were usually depicted as drug dealers or gang members, and the women were either bimbos or housemaids. And but my reality was that, here I am, a quirky, very nerdy, intellectual kid who loved playing the violin in public school. Like I never saw that represented on TV. And yeah, like stories of hardworking people dealing with illness, like we weren't portrayed like that. And so I realized that there was something lacking at a very early age, and that hey, like maybe I could be the sort of megaphones amplify these voices. And as I mentioned before, it was this idea of play and really playing with like, oh, what if I do a project where I create 3D printed miniatures of my grandpa that are like 4 inches tall, and we have these 3D printed miniatures, like it's actually my grandpa's voice, and being able to find like something that's so unique that the world never really saw before. Because yeah, and I was able to like, ride that for a while, and I still am riding this creative wave, and it's really, disappointing. I can't say that this administration has done anything positive with any of their initiatives. I think it's a shameful administration. I think that their how they villainize DEI is abhorrent, and I want this project and how they use the word diversity as like a dirty word. I want TheyDream to stand first and foremost as a showcase that diversity has never been a dirty word and will never be a dirty word, and it's really through and in my opinion, this is an American story. Like 100%, it's an American story because what my family's going through is the same thing that maybe, a disabled family in Kentucky, a white family is going through, or a black family living in Louisiana. So I think that it just showcases the stories of, you know, those marginalized people that are oftentimes ignored. And in the case of this, this administration, vilified in ways that are anti-American. So I think I'm doing my patriotic duty by standing up to this very fascist regime that, especially after they've eliminated $1 billion of funding for public media. I don't know where I would be without public media, both as a child, because I grew up on public media. We didn't have cable for many years when I was growing up. So of course, like there's a whole cliche story about, Sesame Street, Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood, but it's true. And then as an adult, like being able to receive funding from many public media organizations, including Latino Public Broadcasting, Black Public Media, and ITVS. So I'm just really grateful because I feel like Hollywood wouldn't take a chance on a story like this. It's too out there, it's too innovative, and unless it had, I don't know, like a celebrity playing me, or like a big like producer. It's like the name recognition. So I think like I like how I've been able to grow organically and create, tell these stories of diversity. It's like I'm doing it in my way, and that means a lot to my integrity and my who I want to be as an artist.
Hmm. That's awesome. Very, very inspirational there.
Yeah.
Um, as you've already kind of mentioned, you this film is making an impact already. You are the winner of the next special jury award for creative expression. Congratulations on that, by the way.
Thank you.
Um, what do you hope that this honor helps with in developing the future of your career?
Yeah, I think if anything, it's this idea that I've always like felt different, thought differently, and yeah, even now I have like a hard time like befriending people who are like who all they know and care about is pop culture. I always want to go deep into like things that are different, that are experimental from all different genres, from all different cultures around the world, and I think that my pursuit of not giving in, not sacrificing my creative vision and getting this award is just like really like wonderful because I think the biggest thing about this film, which I've never really seen in a documentary, is that I collaborate with my mother and we create animations about members of our family that are no longer with us. And I think that this idea that creativity isn't something that is like, you know, like for instance, I'm just gonna put someone out there that Michael Jackson was born like with all of his creativity in there. Like, no, like he grew up in a very musical family, so he learned how to adjust and become creative. Same thing with Mozart. Mozart was like shown the piano when he was younger. It's not like he just like was 20 years old, went to a piano and could do anything, you know? Like you have to get trained to do that. So I think that like in this culture, which I think is obviously American culture is by far as a consumerist culture, it's so easy for people to go out and just buy their identity and not have to worry about crafting, you know, an identity of who they are by themselves. And so I wanted this to be to showcase like, hey, we have it all within us. Just get this idea that like only the people on TV or on the radio are the ones that somehow have this gift. Like, no, like go out there and just create because it's part of your human identity. It's something that is a fundamental right to create. And I forgot your question, but I'm just talking about the beauty of creativity. Oh, special jury award. Yes, it's a validation of being creative. And I love that because it's my favorite word. Creativity and diversity are my two favorite words, and expression. I love it all.
Mm, that's awesome. I'm gonna go ahead and wrap it up. Any final thoughts that you would like to get out there for people to maybe set their expectations for what to expect when they approach TheyDream?
Sure. So when you watch Daydream, just know that is obviously super, super, super personal story and one that took 4 years to create, but in many ways a lifetime to create. It tries so many ideas, and I know that it's. I come from a background of creating short films, so to be able to have to string along so many different scenes, it was something a new thing I had to learn, and I think that's what's amazing. Like it's this film is just like an amalgamation of who I've been in the past 4 years and the people in my family who are no longer with us in these past 4 years and being able to tell their stories in such a creative way. So I'm just really, really thankful for this gift. And I guess just go into it knowing that it's told in a way that may seem very familiar with characters that are familiar, but with a style that changes quite often. And that I hope you go into it just allowing yourself to sort of flow along this dream and just think of the commonalities between my family and your family and enjoy the ride.
Awesome. Well, William, thanks again so much for chatting with me about your film. Congratulations again for this another appearance at Sundance, and of course the prize for this film. And I'm wishing you the best. I can't wait to see where this film goes and what you do with your career from here.
Great. Thank you so much. Take care. Have a good day.